The procedure of spiritual fulfillment is totally based on our individual quest and desires. You'd never be able to change the world around you unless you change yourself. This change incrementally brings pure divine enlightenment wrapped up and sealed with peace of mind that surpasses all understanding. Simultaneously, I understood amicably that we can be around people physically, but not on the same vibrational level as theirs. In other words, we can only coexist on the physical plane where we interact with each other, but metaphorically, we are on different timeliness, meaning where I'm on mentally, 99.9% of people around me are not on that timeline, in the sense of they don't really see things the way I see them. They don't have the kind of vision of greatness for themselves, so you definitely won't get the kind of support you need from them, and that's why God has to separate you from these individuals. Every great destiny must experience isolation. It's really not a thing of choice. It's non-negotiable, it's non-avoidable. It's a design mechanism from source that runs till infinity, and there's nothing we can do about it. The period of isolation that we undergo is to experience elevation in our quest for self-discovery, therefore gaining excellence in self-discipline, utilizing our God-given gifts, talents and abilities, and gaining mastery in them. The alchemical transformation and compartmentalization tendency varies, depending on your divine task and life's purpose. Today, I'd be taking you on a quick journey through my life experiences that lead me straight to the divine, of which I believe this will not just enlighten you but also inspires you to remain consistent on your path in order to get your crown. In less than a year, I've been able to not just transform my life but also the life of others through the help of the divine. I never understood what true wisdom meant until I started walking with God. Every step, enlightenment and healing that I experienced during my own journey, I've been gifted with the ideologies to transform my pain into messages, therefore elevating the collective's consciousness through my gifts. I want to specifically share with you my experiences as a spiritual monk thus far. No matter where you are in your journey, this information will not just guide you but also activate your divine gifts with just one read. The enlightened monk is the last and final stage of ascension. It's important to inform you that in order to attain mastery of oneself, you must be in the position to energetically protect yourself from low vibrational entities, prior to the fact that you must have gone through series of transformational events, unification of the mind and healing, lust and ego transformation, psychological wholeness, unity consciousness, sacred tantra healing, emotional healing and detoxification, etheric and astral cord cutting, breaking karmic cycles, and finally the synchronization of the brain hemisphere. At this phase of your spiritual journey, you must have been convinced of your soul's purpose and your mission on earth. This could be collectively or individually. Every being who's on a path of self-discovery must be ready to walk alone, and go monk mode. When you're in a monk mode, you must abstain from lustful fleshy desires, including sexual and animalistic desires. This scared practice is a spiritual currency and sacrifice one ought to pay in order to reach enlightenment. Contrary to that, being a monk is a positional state of mediumship known as yoga. This practice is the spiritual symbolism of prana, which is also known as the life force of every living thing, known and unknown, seen and unseen. This qualitative state of desire activates the gratification of one's existence and puts such individual in a state of deep consciousness and awareness, self-thinking and analyzing of oneself and actions. With constant practice, patience is highly needed as things becomes illuminated to you by the divine, which is also known as self-discovery. There are certain factors that you have to be aware of when you decide to go on a spiritual quest in order to reach enlightenment. 1. Psychological wholeness. This is the first step to self-control, balance, awareness, consciousness and connecting to source. You must be aligned with the highest vibration of love, and become fully aware of awareness itself. You're never going to reach enlightenment without long suffering, patience, compassion, prayer and meditation. A master of thyself is someone who knows when to detach themselves from the outside world, and go within when necessary. This is the only way to get into alignment with your higher mind, receive insights and deep introspection. Our emotions are idealistic, only with a deep introspection births the power to make a change. It's equally important that I bring to your awareness that your mood vacillates and it's not entirely your own. The reason is because people who are not willing to change themselves, or are scared of looking at themselves, are beings filled with so much hatred towards anyone who tries to be the best version of themselves. As we increase in age, our receptive nature is also enhanced. This means that in this state of being, the flesh begins to fight the spirit man more frequently than ever. The reason is because the desires of the flesh is being withheld and starved in order to feed the spirit man. That's why we can't serve two masters at the same time. Same thing applies to our spiritual beliefs too. We can't serve God and the devil at the same time. We can't serve the light and dark at the same time. We must pick a side and choose our master. It's either you're a light worker or a dark worker. It's either you're a divine being or a satanic being. The Bible made a reference to this in the book of Revelations 3 verse 15 to 16. I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. We can all see that even God is not an author of confusion. He wants us to be straight with him as he is straight with us. What he don't like, he says, and instructs his children to be aware of what he hates. Likewise, we ought to emulate this structure from our Creator and live by them. What are the things you battle with, or you don't like about yourself? Write them down and take it to God in prayer and watch how he moves on your behalf. He doesn't like when the enemy plays with his children, even if he knows everything about us even from birth. God will not intervene if you don't submit yourself and allow him become the captain of your life. You can't be the head and allow God be the head. You can't control your physical and spiritual life and allow God control your life. No. One person must become the captain. If you're the captain and you don't need God, then you can go ahead with your captainship. But if you know you need a supernatural influence and power upon your life, protection, wisdom and strength, then you need to step down and step out of the control room so that God can take over. I'd be using a different technique called visualization to end this message today. Now picture this in your mind. Imagine yourself as a captain of a ship and you're approaching great storm ahead. I know even with the level of experience you're likely to call for help. Now imagine if a higher captain steps into the control room and sits there, watching you struggle with controlling the ship. You're likely to scream for help and plead that he assist you. Now if you've been on a ship before, you'd see that it has one steering wheel, and one person can only control that steering wheel. So imagine if you and your boss, who's also a higher captain, are trying to control one steering wheel. Obviously it'll lead to more destruction and chaos. So you need to leave the steering wheel so that your boss can control the wheel. So it is with God. You must step out of control and surrender totally to him, therefore asking him to come into your life and navigate your path. There's nothing really impossible with God. Even the word impossible says I'm possible. You are possible for that job, position, enlightenment, power, desires or anything thereof. You are worthy. My name is Bazzy Francis and I am worthy, so are you.